thing about Dune was we were tasked with creating this traditional film look. In the beginning, they did some testing. They shot large format film in the desert. That was immediately evocative of Lawrence of Arabia. People have become used to the digital level of accuracy, but they still want that filmic feel. So we developed this new process where we created a way to efficiently take the digital portion of the film, bring it back to film, scan it back in, and have the color match the original as it was digitally graded, but still provide a lot of the different effects that would have been natural to film.
So there was a lot of tests to make sure that we maximized that negative as a data storage device. And then there was a lot of R&D that went into the color science of actually being able to analyze that negative and bring it back to the original digital file so that we only had to do a little bit of creative eyeballing at the very end because all of the heavy lifting was done procedurally.
And it turned out that the way it was done very naturally mimicked the grain and size patterns that were used on large format film. The film feel and the film characteristics of Dune are very evocative of these large format 65 millimeter original acquisition shots of desert, the kind of things that you would have seen in Lawrence of Arabia. It was really neat to be able to create a technology that allowed the use of all of this advanced digital onset technology, but still gave you a lot of the properties that were intrinsic to the cinematic language of this sprawling desert scape. It was creating that process that allowed this analog intermediate element to be used in a way that facilitates digital filmmaking. It's super cool to work on. It was exciting to be able to do something new. I mean, to really get the time and to make a brand new film process that helps tell stories in the digital age, it was a lot of work, but it turned out fantastic.
Are you ready?
We regraded a number of times to find the right feel and experimented and really thought creatively about what we were trying to do with color. That's why being a colorist is the best job in the world. You get paid to be creative and have fun and make movies with amazing filmmakers. What more could you want? When they were shooting the movie and doing their production design, I think that they did a lot of really bold choices. And I think that that attitude carried on into the color. And I think that it was really about making big swings and being aggressive and doing things that were fun and interesting and bold and maybe a little scary sometimes. That was a movie where we went very dark in scenes and we rode a line of darkness where things were barely visible. Maybe just a couple of eye lights poking through complete darkness. And to me, that was the kind of scene where I think having an accurate color environment at home is critical because those little subtleties are only going to come across if the TV is set up correctly. If your TV is not looking right, you might be looking at mush. And for me, it just gets to this idea that color as an artistic medium needs to be exhibited correctly because all of those little choices that were made won't make any sense if your TV's not set up right. There's a scene where the Queen starts reading the letter from the Green Knight and we shifted all of the tonality green. That wasn't done in camera, that was done in DI, and we enhanced her eyes so their eyes read a certain way. And there were so many moments in that scene where color was so important and so thought out of and really helped tell the story the way Andrew and David wanted. And it was exhilarating. It was fun. We had fun. We were looking at things in ways that we didn't always think of originally, and really taking the time to discuss what we were doing by doing sometimes very small changes. And I also think that The Green Knight's an interesting project too, and then that it was also, for the HDR finish, was also very aggressively graded.
So HDR technology, for those you don't know, allows for televisions or display devices to produce colors that are just simply brighter than were ever possible before. And this unleashed a whole new range of creative opportunity. And in the beginning, just because the technology's there, the creatives want to explore it, but they really need help in understanding what the edges are, the contours, how it relates to their stories.
We graded on a Dolby Pulsar that runs at 4,000 nit, which is about 40 times brighter than your normal TV. And it shows. There's lightning flashes and scenes in there that are peaking at peak brightness, but then there's also scenes that are dim and you can barely make out what's happening. And again, a lot of thought was put into what we did and how we embraced that medium. So many proud moments. I think that the opening scene where the Green Knight is introduced in the Great Hall was a scene that was really enhanced with color. And I think that Andrew did a great job shooting it, and a lot of the work we did together was a lot of just enhancements, like really bringing out eyes and like shaping the frame so that your eye went to the right place, but also like very subtle enhancements of tweaking the color of all of the fire so that it perfectly complemented the blue tones in the production design. Everybody's super excited about it, and I think it's one of the most beautiful movies I've ever had the privilege of collaborating on. The Red Rocket is a film that I just finished with Sean Baker, and the DP is Drew Daniels. And it's a really neat color movie as well, in that they did shoot on Super 16 film. And even more interestingly, they shot anamorphic Super 16, which is super special. I think there was one set of lenses that Panavision made that could do that. And again, this just shows you the thought filmmakers put into making things. Like, everything's intentional. They're choosing all of these different mediums for a reason in terms of their storytelling. The Red Rocket's amazing too, because it's a really bold looking movie. One of the tools I use, which is DaVinci Resolve, or one of the things I like about it is it's kind of a sandbox. And I like making my sandcastles a certain way. One of the really powerful things was it lets me build my own workflows and color pipelines that are unique to myself. And one of the things I like about that is it makes every movie unique, in that by not using these predefined looks and predefined color workspaces and workflows, is that I don't have to do anything that I don't want to do. And I want to do what's best for the film and for the filmmakers to help them execute that in the most elegant and beautiful fashion. One of the things I'm very proud is that over the years, I've worked with our head color scientist, Joseph Slumka, to build my own color pipeline and my own color management. And I do this for every movie I work on now. And it gives me a creative flexibility that I found invigorating, enlightening, and freeing. And because I don't like to paint within the lines, I've been able to come up with a color pipeline that lets me paint wherever I want.
There was nothing like Star Wars. Star Wars was just always huge and loomed large and just took up so much imagination space. And to be able to be part of the new stories is just fantastic. It's a little kid's dream. It's using my adult skills to fulfill the dreams of a little kid to be part of these stories. The process of integrating the film and the digital together in a seamless manner was started from the beginning of production. A lot of testing was done to understand how film reacts and how digital cameras react, so the look for The Last Jedi was altered to tell the new story. So it wasn't exactly a direct match to what it would have been as a film print, but it was modified in a way that told the story better through the new digital mediums for modern day exhibition. The idea is that there's something really new that no one has been able to create before, and everyone's going to look at it. color matters because it conveys emotion, and it's a story that had a lot of emotion in it. Specifically, you look at The Red Room. That was a visually striking scene where color was pushed to the edge of what could be produced in cinema, high dynamic range color gamuts. The Last Jedi is really at this block and this cusp of where the old technology and new technology are meeting. One of the coolest things that happened, at one point, a specific camera test was sent to us by Lucasfilm for digitization so they would be able to have a scan to look at. And it was a series of camera tests that were performed from the original show. So I'm sitting there with a can of film from the original trilogy with the original notes written in it. And you could see the laboratory notes and you could see the production notes. It was pretty cool to have that physical element and be like, oh, that's what's in this can. I need to make this new thing look like this one. This film really helps bridge the idea of bringing that cinematic language of film and that physical artifact of film into the digital realm with a great deal of thought. It's a bridge between the analog world and the digital world that was done at a very high level with a lot of effort and a lot of deliberate intention. The idea is to make sure that those aspects of cinematic language are translated in a way that's appropriate for the new story, that make it feel right, that make it feel like cinema and not a video and not a video game and not a computer render, but those things happened in a way that connects this film with cinematic history.
People watch movies to feel things, and everybody should know that color helps you feel things. If you're not getting the right color, you might not be feeling the right things.
The color accuracy and color calibration tools are very important, and they're something that's used literally at every step along the chain. With the idea that you can't collaborate, you can't be part of the full experience if you can't trust what you're looking at.
I love color, and I love that people are starting to appreciate it, and I love that there's starting to be tools and displays and environments now that people can take it on in their own fashion sometimes. My hope is that the part that I helped with is communicated well, and that it helps move you, and it helps tell the story better, and it helps make the experience of watching movies that much more magical.